Did you know that pit bulls were once known as nanny dogs because of how kind and protective they were over children? There are many problems concerning the negative stereotypes that pit bulls have that are untrue. Today I will be discussing the problem, cause, and a solution to this. Often people assume that pit bulls are aggressive in their nature, but it is essential to learn the real character of a pit bull. Many people are also often unaware of the difference between fact versus fiction regarding pit bulls. According to the article, The Problem with People, Not Pit Bulls, by the Time magazine, there is a lot of research on canine aggression, such as that human behavior actually leads to animal attacks. There is many more research about the reasoning behind the so-called aggression that pit bulls have, but mostly people still seem to believe that it is in their nature. With the truth about pit bulls unnoticed, it is not the people that suffer from it, but the breed. Pit bulls are often overlooked in shelters, causing them to be euthanized. Pit bulls are usually the last breed for someone to pick out because of the negative stereotypes surrounding their breed. According to statistics, in 2012, over 1.2 million dogs are euthanized every year, and 40% of those being pit bulls. If people were to learn more about pit bulls' genuine kindness, then people would not pass up on the chance to have such a great companion. However, because people believe these stereotypes over the truth, it causes harm to the breed of pit bulls. The causes behind these negative stereotypes root back as far as the 1800s. Before the British Parliament enacted the Cruelty to Animals Act in 1835, dogs such as pit bulls would be pitted against one another to fight. Because pit bulls were bred to be fighting dogs, they were a lot bigger and a lot stronger too. Eventually, the breed of the Pit Bull Terrier became the American Pit Bull Terrier when coming to America. In America, pit bulls had several different uses because they were very strong and proved to be very hardworking. Eventually, even though dog fighting was banned in 1976, it began to reemerge after World War II. Because people wanting to participate in dog fighting, people started to seek out pit bulls for illicit purposes. They also began to train pit bulls to be more violent and aggressive in order to win these fights. Eventually, the breed was seen as a money-making commodity rather than a companion. However, there is no defining moment as to where it all went wrong with the negative stereotype and connotation over pit bulls. Pit bulls continued to be exploited in news and media where they would say, "Beware of dog," and this would cause fear to many people, thinking that the dog was fearful. Because of the negative comments and stories about pit bulls, people began to think they were very vicious and aggressive just by their nature. Although some media sources would try to show pit bulls through a more loving and caring way, such as Sports Illustrated magazine, the negative stereotype about pit bulls still stayed in place, and it is still today. The solution to this problem is not an easy one. It takes time for people to learn the truth and realize that they are wrong, but if more people could see that pit bulls are not aggressive and violent in nature, then they could see that just like any other dog, they are great companions. One way to do this is to prove the negative stereotypes wrong. Many websites prove and explain how such assumptions are wrong, such as 10 stereotypes about pit bulls that are just dead wrong by HuffPost. This article discusses common assumptions towards pit bulls and explains why they are untrue, such as pit bulls have lockjaw, pit bulls are not good with or around kids, and that pit bulls' brains swell, causing them to go crazy. These are all untrue, as it is stated in these articles. Knowing even simple information from reliable websites and sources can help learn more about the nature of the true pit bull and help loosen the stigma surrounding the pit bull breed. If people were also to get to know how a pit bull can be personally, less people would be scared of them, and potentially more pit bulls could be saved instead of euthanized as well. I wanted to add this to relate back to the audience. My brother recently adopted a pit bull puppy at 3 weeks old, and he is the nicest dog I have ever met. He's very good around me and my siblings, and if my family can see that pit bulls make great companions and are not bad dogs, so can you. In review, I discussed the problem concerning pit bulls and the negative stereotypes surrounding them, along with how these negative stereotypes started and how they affect the breed. And lastly, along with the solution to not judge so quickly. I hope this encourages you to not judge the breed of pit bulls quickly or badly, and if you do or know someone who does, to encourage them as well to not. All dogs deserve love, along with pit bulls, of course. I forgot to say this in the beginning, but my name is Julia Drake, and this is my persuasive speech about pit bulls.